So this is our small image recognition software. Let's run. So it is going to read the image on the right hand side and it will let us know what is inside the image. So let's ask what is in the image. Let's wait for the response from Image and Vision API from OpenAPI. So you see in the response, the image features two golden retriever puppies sitting on a green lawn scattered with orange flowers. The background is softly blurred, emphasizing the playful nature of the puppies, with their tongues out and are looking towards the camera. So perfect. Hey there, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to create a sample application which will use Image and Vision API of OpenAI. So what we are going to do is, you see this piece of code, this piece of JavaScript code here. We are going to replicate the same in a C# console application using Visual Studio Code. So what we will do in the application is we will provide it an image, and this API in response will return what are the objects inside that image. So here is my Visual Studio Code, and you can see here in the image folder I have an image of two twin dogs. So you see we have two dogs here, and here is our newly created console program.cs file. So here we are going to write some code that I have shown you on the browser and see what happens. So let's start writing some code. I need to add REST sharp for the HTTP client requests and newtonsoft.json to serialize the response that will come from the OpenAI. So here is how can I add packages. I just googled these as I always do. So this is the command to add REST sharp .NET add package REST sharp. So it's going to add REST sharp package. Next I need to add newtonsoft.json. I copied and pasted .NET add package newtonsoft.json. So these two packages are now added to my program. Now I am going to add a new class. Let's call it .NET new class -n, then the class name. Let's call it image vision client. So I'm going to make HTTP client requests inside this class. Let me open the class now. Here it is. So first of all, I'm going to create a public constructor of the class. Vision client. Let's pass a API key inside the class constructor. Let's make it private. Read only API string API key. Let's set it here. A key equals API key. Now, as per this code, I need other classes as well. So let's call them C# models. So I need a primary class that will have model and messages property, and then I'll need a message class which will have role and content. So content is an array here, as you can see. So I'll need one more class that will be our message content. Let's create the classes in the Visual Studio Code. Now let's start adding our classes that I need to code. So I have arranged my VS Code here at the right hand side and the browser at the left hand side so that I can just write some classes. So first class, I'm going to name it image vision model. Now the second class, I'm going to name it message. That will cover up this message array. And the third class, I'm going to name it as content. And content. Now I need to give some properties inside the class. So let's start with message class. So first property I'm going to give it is the model. So that is string model. Next, sorry, this should be the part of the image and vision model. So here it will go public string model. Now inside the message class we have a role property. So let's add role string role. Now let's go to content class. Here we have one object type and text, then another object type and image URL. So I have added the classes now. As you can see, I have this content class inside the messages property. So I'll have type text and image URL. Now image URL itself is a type, so I have created another type, that is class image URL, with one single property URL. Here you can see. Now we have the upper property, that is messages. So for the messages, I have created a class message. Inside that I have a role type and I have a content type, that is a list in C# or a JavaScript array. Now we need a upper class, that is the topmost class. So we have not this one. So for this topmost class, which will have model and messages properties, I have this image and vision model. So it has two property, model and messages. Now as per the JavaScript code, we have C# classes arranged here, as you can see. So let's begin with the innermost type, that is our content here. And as you can see, I have created a type object content list, which is a type of content, that is the class that I have created. Inside that, the first type is type equals to text, and text is what is here, but that one we are going to pass as an input from the user. So let me replace this one with the prompt here. Now inside the content we have type image URL, and then the next one is image URL property itself. You see, type image URL and then the image URL property, in which I'm gonna pass the image URL of this doctwin.jpg. Then we have the upper one, the messages property here. For that I have created a variable here where message, and it is a type of list of messages, in which we have a role user here, and the content that I have just created here, content list. Then the uppermost property, which will have model, that is GPT-4o mini, and the messages property, that is the message from here. So inside the content it has type text and then text property, what's in the image, then type and then image URL. So we need to make sure that in the first property we should, if the image URL is there and it is null, it should not be there, and if the text is null, it should not be there as well. So we need to ignore text and image property in case if they are null. So I have added this one just to handle the null values. So if it is null, ignore. I'm using newtonsoft.json. This is our image vision client class, in which we have get image vision method, and we are using REST sharp. So I'm making a client request here using the api.openai.com, and it will go to the completions endpoint, just passing the API key as a bearer token. And this is the image URL, guys. So we have an image that I'm getting from images.pexels.com. It's a free open source image from pexels.com, so you can also use pexels.com website just to get some free images and download it from there. So it requires a hosted or a website URL in which the image resides. It will not work in a local environment. So now again, just passing the same object, creating the objects that we need to pass, and inside the request body, model ChatGPT 4o mini, making a client request, and in the response we will get what is inside the image. So this is a kind of image recognition software that we are creating here. So let's see it in action now. So this is our small image recognition software. Let's run. So it is going to read the image on the right hand side and it will let us know what is inside the image. So let's ask what is in the image. Let's wait for the response from Image and Vision API from OpenAPI. So you see in the response, the image features two golden retriever puppies sitting on a green lawn scattered with orange flowers. The background is softly blurred, emphasizing the playful nature of the puppies, with their tongues out and are looking towards the camera. So perfect.